Hi, welcome back to the second episode of the Black Sheep Yarn Co. podcast. I'm Angelique, and I'll be your hostess. I think I'm a little more nervous today than I was the first time. But thank you so much for the sweet comments and everybody that subscribed to my podcast. I'm having fun getting to know people and just the little bit that I have so far. I do plan on starting a Ravelry group. I've had a few people ask about that, and I also would like to try to link some of the things that I'm going to show you today in the show notes. I'm not sure how to do that. I have this hair that's just like sticking up. There we go. I'm not sure how to do that, but I'm sure I have one of my kids that are teenagers and 20-somethings that can show me how to do it because they know everything. Let's see. I think that's it. So let's jump in. One thing that I wanted to do is kind of talk about my mug that I'm drinking out of each week. And I thought I would share with you guys that this mug is from a set that I've kind of gathered at a kind of a thrift store antique shop nearby. I believe it's well, I'll look on one of them, but I wanted to show you the set that I have. I adore these mugs, and I think that they're just super cute. So I have this cute little set that I keep in my kitchen. And this is from Target. I don't know if they have it this year. It's from the Hearth and Hand set. And this is my favorite tea that I have sitting here. And I usually get these at like Barnes & Noble, I think. And all of these cups are just, you can get all different ones. I actually have the creamer thing too. I just didn't have it on here. But they're just super cute and botanical. I think they could be like a Corningware or Pyrex kind of set, but they seem to be popping up in a lot of thrift stores lately. And I just love them. I also have a couple of planters. But it's just a fun set, and I like to have like a cute little set out for when I have people over. So that's my coffee mug set. I'm a bad podcaster because I don't have enough room around me to not go off camera for a second sometimes. I have piles everywhere, so I'll do my best. Okay, so I have a finished object that I gave away already. One of my boys asked me to knit a hat for one of their friends, and I did it in it's My Precious colorway, and I did it in a base that's like a new base of mine. It's a bulky base, bulky weight yarn, and I'll try to see if I can get a picture of her in it and insert it somewhere, but sometimes that happens. You give it away before you have a chance to show it. Also, I should probably mention that this is the Boho Blush by Andrea Mowry. And I may have to take it off. I might get too hot at some point because I'm also wearing my new sweater that I finished and showed last week. So it's getting a little warm. But this is out of my yarn. Did I do it on Sparkle? Yeah, it's on Sparkle. You probably can't really see that right now. I don't know. Sparkle never shows up on camera like it should. But I love it. I made it for my daughter's wedding, and I was going to just wear it over my shoulders because I had kind of a darker blush dress, but it just was too warm to wear it. But I've been really I've been really enjoying wearing it. I will say it has the fringe, and although I love the fringe, I feel like I never know what to do with it. Like it looks okay. Let's see if I can get up. But it's just this little part right here that I'm just like, I have no idea. So it just kind of hangs on both sides. So I don't know if anybody has any suggestions on how to wear this, I'll take it, because I really haven't quite figured it out yet. But I love it. And this is a custom colorway that I dyed up for myself. I had sold my one and only skein of it's called Pearls and Lace to a friend of mine when I first started dyeing it. And I thought I had taken notes good enough, and apparently I hadn't. And so I ended up messing it up, and I used the yarn that I messed up, and then I had to have her bring my skein over so I could take a look at it and duplicate it. So I do have, I think, some Pearls and Lace in the shop. I think maybe on Sparkle, but I'm not sure. But it was a really popular colorway. So I'm going to take a look at my notes here. All right, so I wanted to talk about my crochet blankets. I know that a lot of people do them, and I love doing them. The scrappy blankets. I have one behind me that I finished a long time ago, and I love it. This particular blanket is a granny square blanket. I'm going to lift it up. So I just started in the center, and I just worked my way around in a square. Although I really like it, and I think it's really cute how it's squared off like that. Although I really like it, the thing I didn't like is you don't really need a blanket to be as wide as you do need it to be long. So I did end up having to kind of make it a little smaller than I would have wanted to, just because it was going to be so wide if I kept going with it. So that's, just lesson learned kind of thing. So the next one that I ended up casting on, and I mean, these are all over Ravelry. You can find just, a granny, they're like usually called like granny stripe blanket or something like that. And this is what I have so far on this one, and I'm just doing stripes. And I'm kind of trying to weave in the ends as I go. I am not one of those people that really puts a lot of effort into what colors I'm choosing. I try to throw in a dark color here and there if I've got a lot of light colors, and vice versa. That's about the extent of what I do. So let's see if we can show this a little better. But I really like it. It's fun. I haven't done a ton with this one lately, but I did get it back out because I'd like to do more. But I did start a second granny square blanket. And this time I decided that I wanted it to be like a thicker yarn, but I still wanted to use up all of my odds and ends of my sock weight, because that's, what I end up with a lot. So what I did is I had a cone of yarn, kind of one of the benefits to being a dyer, but I'm sure you could probably get your hands on cones of yarn. I don't know, or just, I know that Knit Picks sells undyed yarn that you can use to do something like this. But what I've done is I'm going to knit all the way through with the cone yarn that's undyed, and then I'm going to add in different colors of stuff that I have left over, and that's kind of, I think kind of that marled effect, and I think that it's going to be really nice. I'm only on my second color that I'm adding in, but it gives it a really soft look, which I kind of like. A lot of my blankets are turning out kind of dark because I a lot of times tend to pick jewel tones and things like that. And so I think this will be a nice addition. The one thing that I wish I would have done differently is I do feel like I chained this a little tight when I started it. And I think that there's probably a way to not do that. Maybe I should have used like a couple sizes bigger hook or something to make it not as tight. But I think when I go to do my border, I should be fine. And I wanted to show my crochet hook that I'm using because everybody talks about having like these fun crochet hooks when they're doing their blankets, and I decided that I was going to get one. So this is a Furls, Furls, I think is what it's called, hook, and it's like this metallic, like bluish purple. Oh, I just love it. It's so pretty. And it is actually really nice to crochet with. This is a size, the size is I, because I'm technically knitting or crocheting a worsted weight blanket right now. When you add two strands of fingering weight, you end up with about a worsted weight. So that's why I chose this particular size hook. But I really, I'm enjoying crocheting with it. I did pick up 2 sizes, so I think I have the correct size if I want to use it on my just sock weight blanket, and then I have this for worsted weight blankets. And honestly, I started a hat this week for my niece, and I was going to do a crocheted hat just for something different. And I've decided that I think the only thing I really want to crochet is blankets, because every time that I try to do a project that's not a blanket, I just don't like it. I ended up ripping it out, starting over with a knitted hat, and I can show that right now. But it's just not my thing to crochet things like hats, I think. So I have this in, I'm trying to remember who made that. I think this is Bags by Awesome Granny. Yeah, it is. I bought one of these for myself and then one for my mom last year for just around Christmas. She saw it and she absolutely loved it. She loves sloths. She calls them sloths, and it cracks me up every time. But it's really cute. It's got like a really fun interior. I don't know if she'll make these ones this year for Christmas, but it's super cute. And so I am knitting. It's the Classic Cuffed Hat by Purl Soho, and it's a free pattern. And I did do the brim shorter because it's for a younger, I think she's like 4 or 5, somewhere in there, probably 4. But I don't really think that she would want the cuff. I don't know. I feel like that's too fussy for younger kids. But this is the hat. And it comes in all sizes from I think it goes baby up to adults. And I'm taking 2 of my yarns. I think these are both in the shop right now. They're both one-of-a-kind colorways. I think I have like 5 of these, and I think I have at least a few of these ones. They're different bases. This is my Tough Sheep, which is the reason I call it Tough Sheep is because it's my most durable sock yarn. So, although it's extremely soft, it is 25% nylon, 75% wool. So it's, we've all knit with those bases. This is my Plump Sheep sock, and it is an 80-20. So 80% wool, 20% nylon. And I love knitting socks with this base because I have a looser gauge. And it's gotten to the point where I almost can't knit socks with this type of a base because it's just too thin. And I'm knitting them on like zeros. And I'll show you a sock that I have going right now in the Plump Sheep. But I can't knit socks with this base anymore. I don't know how to tighten my gauge up. I've tried, and it doesn't really work for me. I haven't found a method that really tightens it for me. So for now, I have to knit my socks on my Plump base, which is fine. So anyway, these are the 2 yarns that I'm using. And this, I'm just marling them. And this, So this is the hat. I think that's showing up pretty good. It's kind of bright right now, so I tried to get rid of some of the extra light that I have coming in my window, but it's just not working for me today. I think it's just the time of day that I'm recording, but I'll have to remember that this is not the time of day to record if I don't want to be blinded. Okay, so I'm having fun with that. It's knitting up really fast. I think I'm knitting, yeah, I'm knitting them on a 6. I think I did the brim on a 4, the hat on a 6. I always size down either somewhere between 1 and 2 needle sizes, so because of my gauge. So I kind of just know automatically that I'm going to have to size down. So that's that. Okay, I'm gonna backtrack. This is a almost finished object. I guess it's not finished, so it's fine to show in my works in progress. So several years ago, I was knitting these socks, and I knew that I had finished them, and I searched my house like recently for them. I was like, where did these socks go? They're very vibrant, and I was getting super frustrated about it. But basically, I knew that all I had left was an afterthought heel. So these are the socks, and I think they might be Jinx yarn. I'm not 100%. The sparkle is actually showing up really good on this. So I finished the socks themselves, and they're super fun. I just need to do a heel, but I found these at my mom's house the other day, just stashed somewhere. And I was helping my parents with they have an apartment on their property, and I was helping them with it, and lo and behold, there it was. And I'm thinking at one point we did live in the apartment for a short amount of time, and I think that's when I must have been knitting on these. So score, I get a new pair of socks, and they're super fun. So okay, I had to stop for a second and hang my crochet blanket so that I could block the sun because it was really bad. So I left off on my sweater by Andrea Mowry, and I've made a bit of progress this week, or I don't know when I podcasted last. I think it has been maybe a little less than 2 weeks, but I don't know. So anyway, there's my marker from last time I podcast, and so I've put probably, I'm so bad, but like maybe 2.5 inches on it. And the yarn is the Blue Moon Fiber Arts Targhee in their PDX Rose City colorway. And as I talked about before, it will look like this when I turn it to the right side, or turn it inside out, which is what you're supposed to do. I think when you do the arms, that they're knit, they're knit in stockinette. So you do the body, and then you turn it like this so that you have the garter side showing. And then you do the sleeves in stockinette, and it has kind of a cool little edging right there, and then the sleeves are just in stockinette, so that's kind of cool. So I'm enjoying that. It's like mindless. I pretty much bring it out when I don't want to think, because I just have to knit for so many inches before I split off for the sleeves. Okay, so my next project, which I pulled this little bag out. I wish I knew who this was by. I think I got it one year at Oregon Flock and Fiber, and I know that my friend Leslie from the Naughty Knitwits got it got the same one, and I think Michelle may have gotten it also, but I'm not sure. So the inside is super cute. It's like little ghosts, or I don't even know what those are, little monsters. And a lot of times I like to take these little pins and hang them in my bags. Sorry, you can hear the airplanes because I have my window open. And just put stitch markers that I might need on them. Okay, so I started this project after I podcasted last week, and I have one sock done, and I think I have a sock blocker. Yeah, I do. Okay, so I got one done. They're not super long, but this is my plump sheep in my vintage trailer colorway. It looks, I'm going to show it in a minute, but it looks a lot different on my Tough Sock. Not a lot, but I guess a little bit. I did, well, I'm going to show it right now. I did do a slight modification to the colorway. This is a new colorway. I only put out a couple skeins of it so far. And this is my modification. I wanted a little bit more speckling and a little bit darker speckling. I just thought that it would help to break up some of this. I don't mind when something pools, but and honestly, Gauge can totally fix that. If I wanted it to have do more of this, then I probably just would adjust my gauge, but it doesn't really bother me. But what I was aiming for is for it to look more like it does in the toe. The way that I started doing my socks is I do a 2x2 rib, and I almost always do a fish lips kiss heel just because I'm lazy and I don't want to do the other heels. And then I continue the 2x2 rib down the top of the foot, and I just do stockinette on the bottom. And the reason that I do this is because I have what I'm going to call athletic calves, and I need space around my calf area, or like even my ankle area. But when it gets down to my foot, I end up having them be really like sloshy or just too big. And I've done before where I decrease for the foot, but that changes the way the patterning's happening, and sometimes that can really affect it, especially if you're doing like a self-striping yarn. So I don't like to do that. And then my toe, I did a rounded toe, and I believe it's the one on Susan B. Anderson has a really great sock pattern for a basic sock, and it has all kinds of information in it. So I think I just do the rounded toe from that particular pattern, but I love how the rounded toe fits. It's really great. So I have that, and then I've already turned my heel on my second one. The plump sheep, it knits up socks so fast. I would say it's closer to like a sport weight yarn, but I love it because it's not too thick, but it does knit up very quickly, and I feel like I just fly through these socks when I knit them. I don't feel like I get a ton of knitting time, so the fact that I'm already on my second sock is pretty crazy. Okay, so that's that. I'm almost done. So I started a shawl. I feel like this is going to be a really short podcast. So I started a shawl this last week or so. I don't think I showed it on the last podcast. It's the Terrell Dago or something like that. It's by Caitlin Hunter. And I'm trying to think if there was a better picture of it in here. Maybe. Well, here's part of the picture. Hold on. I don't want to show her charts, but it has this really cool leaf motif in a couple different spots, and it's got lace work here and lace work here. And I think it's a really fun pattern. It was first offered as a kit, and then you couldn't get the pattern, and I was so bummed when I saw it because I really wanted to knit it, but I didn't have the money to buy the kit. I'm using 2 of my colors in Blush and My Precious, and this is on my MCN. And then my third color is an O-Loops yarn, and it's a tweed. It's got like little black tweedy specks, and this is the Dyer O-Loops. I got this at Vogue Knitting last year, and it's Gadgets and Gears is the colorway. Excuse my nails. I actually painted my nails today, and I'm just too impatient. I've messed them up already, so I give up. And so here's a closer look at these 2 colorways. They have a nice, I love MCN. It has a nice halo. It's not mohair, but it does have a really nice halo, and I love the variegation in this color. And you'll see actually, so it starts out like this. It's kind of curling right now. I think it's meant to curl a little bit, so it kind of will curl even after I block it. And then, so there's the stripes. And then I'm going into the lace work. And I wouldn't normally pick this heavily variegated of a yarn for lace work, but I tried a couple different stripe colors. I got like this far like twice on it and ripped it out. And by the time I got to this, I got to the lace work, and I was having a hard time deciding what to use. And I really love this colorway, and it does have a lot of the colors that I'm using in it. It's got these little baubles, and I'm not loving them. If I had it to do over, I might have skipped them, but I don't want to rip it out. If I can remember, I think this is something Tots, Sugar Tots, that made this little stitch marker. It's really cute. It's got like a little heart and the little tea bag. I think it's one of my favorite stitch markers. I love it. So there's that. Okay, I had to pause and fix my lighting issues, but I think that it'll do for now. So, the last project, I think this is my last project to show, is a project that I started a long time ago with Leslie from the Naughty Knitwits. And it's the Yoga Shawl by Andrea Mowry. And it starts out with this zigzag motif. It's really big, like huge. It's so much knitting. At the time, I was just not in a good place mentally, I think. And I got through all of the first motif, and when I got to the other end, I kept messing up over and over again. Like, I would get almost done and realize it wasn't right, and I'd rip back, and I was getting so frustrated, and so I just put it away. And then I realized I didn't have enough yarn, and I was able to order more. It's this is Blue Moon Fiber Arts. It's one of their worsted weights, but I'm actually not sure if it's the Targhee or if it's something else. I don't know if I have the tag. I'll see if I can find it, but like I said, it's a really old project. But if you ever look at the pattern, it's really cool. I'm trying to see where the buttonholes are. I think they might be at this end. There's buttonholes that you add. Yeah. Let's see. So there's the buttonholes that you put in. And you can wear this like a ton of different ways. It wraps around you. You can make it into a poncho. I don't know. There's a ton of ways to wear it. I will probably just wear it as a cowl, which you can button into place and then you don't have to worry about it falling off. It's just like a big bulky one though that I would wear like with a coat or something. I'll probably wear it as a poncho, just around the house when I'm cold, or I don't know, maybe out in public too. If anybody knows me, they know that I love this color, and I don't even know if it looks good on me, but it's gold. This gold color is probably my favorite color. But I love fall, and I love fall colors. So I brought it out. I'm on to the last section. So if you see, I think I have like 2, maybe a third zigzag that I'm doing. And let's see, 1, 2. So I'm about halfway through the zigzags, and then I am done with this thing. So my goal is to get going on this week and over the next couple weeks, and hopefully I'll have a finished yoga shawl, but we'll see. But I really want this. Okay, so I think that's all of my knitting and crocheting projects. I was going through my projects and I realized that I have an insane amount of unfinished projects, and I'm hoping that this podcast will help me to just focus in on these projects and motivate me to get them done and move on to something else, because I have so many things that I want to start, but I really don't want to be starting things if I'm not finishing them. So that's my goal. Okay, so I'm going to show a couple works in progress that I have going that aren't knitting, and then I'm going to show yarn that just went into my shop. Okay, so the first thing is I did this dress by Sew Liberated, and the version that I did is very cutesy. It's not nearly as like trendy and fun as the ones that you've probably seen on Instagram, but I wanted to use a fabric that was inexpensive for the time being, and that kind of worked out for me and kind of didn't, and I'll show you why. This dress is so cool. Basically, you start, or you do this dress. She's got 2 dresses on in this particular picture, but this is the dress, the dark gray and the light gray. So if you wear it one way, you can see this little area in the front and back, and then if you flip it over, it's just plain. It's the inside. So the way that I did it, I got all done, and I realized that when it's worn this way, the inside fabric should be a reversible fabric. And the fabric I used was not, so I had to get creative, and I'll show you what I did. The only thing I have left is hemming the top layer. Ouch, and I just got poked with a needle. Okay, so here's my dress, and I just used kind of a fun Christmas fabric that I thought would be cute during the winter time. So there's the dress, and if I go way up, this is what's showing through. Okay, what I ended up having to do is I'm gonna turn it the other way and show you. The dress that is the dress that's just the plain dress, because when it was turned the other way, you saw like the raw side of the fabric. What I did is I pulled out a little trick that I used to do with my girls. I found a contrasting fabric, and I used to do their skirts this way. I hate hemming skirts so much because I like to do it by hand if I'm going to do it, because I don't like how it looks if you do it on the machine. So what I did is I made a band that was, and I put it wrong sides together. And what you do is you you put your band wrong sides together, this front and back, excuse me, and you sew it to the raw edge of your skirt so that when you flip it over, you've got this finished hem and you don't even have to hem it. I love using this technique, and it saved me for this dress because now I have this cute little dress that has a nice contrast that I can wear this way, or I can flip it the other way like this. And I'm sure that this dress, because of how bulky it is, it's probably not going to do my body justice, but whatever, I don't care. It's cute. So I can flip it this way, and once I hem it, I'll have this cute little border hanging out. So overall, I was really happy with it. It went together so nicely, and it was actually really easy to put together, and everything about it is already finished. You do this really cool thing where you roll it up, and it's like magic the way that you put it together, and everything ends up encased, and you don't have to do any finishing work except for hemming the top of your dress, the top hem of this. That's it. So that was really fun. And again, that's the Metamorphic dress by Sew Liberated. She has really cool patterns, and I have a vest that I'm going to make of hers that was published in Taproot magazine, and that's a really fun magazine if you haven't ever looked at it, that has all kinds of stuff like recipes. There's always a knitting project, and there's always a sewing project, and it comes with the whole sewing pattern in the magazine usually. So that's that. Okay, so my next thing that I was going to show is a little sewing project that I am working on. And I decided to get it back out because it's been a while since I've worked on it, and it's a Christmas themed project. This is for a quilt, and there are a lot of pieces to it, and I don't know if I'm going to make a quilt out of it or if I'm just going to do it piece by piece and use it to make different things. Like this could become a runner for a table or a pillow or whatever. It's so cute. I have some detail work to finish up on it. It's just an applique, you do little stitches around it. I'm trying to think if there's a picture. Oh yes, there is. So this one, actually, they do show a couple options of how to finish it. So if you want it to go in the quilt, it can, or you could make it into a pillow. And I think I might make it into a pillow, actually, because I'm not going to finish all of these. I have a stack of them, and I won't finish them all this year, but I'm just going to, my goal is to at least finish this one for Christmas so that I have a cute little pillow to put somewhere. So I'm going to be working on that over the next couple weeks, and hopefully I'll have some progress on it when I show it to you next. Maybe it'll even be a pillow. I think it'd be kind of fun to knit a back for this and then like sew it to it. I think that could be kind of cool. And maybe I'll do that. And I could even use like a gold. I'm going to have a ton of this left over. I don't know if that would work, but maybe. Yeah, maybe I will. So that's, these patterns I got from a local shop. It's called Holly Hill Quilt Shop. And they have beautiful stuff. I'll be showing more quilts that I've been working on that are kits from them. I don't do a ton of quilting, but I did start a quilting project with my aunt, and we both started it. We were beginning quilters, and this project is definitely in my view an advanced project, and we just keep looking at each other like, were we like completely crazy to start this? Because it is so detailed. It's crazy. So, okay, so I'm going to show my yarns, and then I have a tiny bit of community service to show. So these are the colorways that I added to my shop this week. Some are new, some are not. They're all on my Tough Sock base, which I may rename at some point once I use up my labels, because I feel like it is a little bit misleading. And this is a very soft base. So this is my vintage trailer, which I was showing you earlier. I'm trying not to make you guys look up my nose when I'm doing this. I just love these colors. It's like a Tiffany blue, peach, brown. So pretty, so pretty. Okay, and then this one, oh man, I'm not going to remember all the names. Okay, I can't remember what I named this one. But I do really like it. It has an extremely soft, like, sea foam color. Like, even this is like sea foam. You can't really tell right now, but it does have a really soft sea foam color on it here and there. And then, you know, bright pinks. I am a big fan of oranges and browns. And then the blues. It's just an unexpected color, I feel like, but I think it's really, really pretty. And it'll be very soft speckles. It's not going to be like over the top, I don't think. So that's that one. This one is like, I think I named it like coffee bean, or I don't know. It has something to do with coffee, because it does remind me, it has a little bit of a mauve-y hue to it. It's not totally showing up the right color here. It's a little more purpley on screen than it is in person. It's definitely a brownish color that kind of reminds me of like the coffee beans before they're roasted. Actually, not before they're roasted. They're green before they're roasted. But just a light coffee bean kind of color. It's going to be a very nice, like, variegated, neutral. You know, there's some really great lights and some really great darks in it. So I think that's a nice one. This one I called Neutralized. Okay, this one is more of a taupe than a gray. This one has very little speckling and it is extreme neutral for sure. But I haven't seen really a lot like this, and so I'm really happy with this color. I think it'll make a really nice neutral to put with other colors. All right, so this one's called SpongeBob Christmas, and it is literally this bright that you're seeing on screen. It has like SpongeBob yellow and some greens and reds. This thing is so bright, but it would be amazing in a brioche anything. Like with just like a black or a dark gray, or I don't know. Any kind of like stark dark color would look really cool next to this. Oh boy. Don't remember what I called this, but I love it. It's really, really pretty. Oh, there's a piece of fuzz. Okay. So I'm really liking this colorway. I think I might have to cast something on in this at some point. So that one's really pretty. I've got Love Notes. Look at those speckles. So pretty. So I like that one a lot. This one my son helped me design. He wanted something that looked like a glacier or something like that. And so I was like challenge accepted. And so I went in and I did this, and he thought it was so cool that I could like dye something up to make it look like what he was envisioning. So I think that's a really pretty one. I think I just have one more, and I love this one. Oh my goodness. I think this is one of my new favorites. It is so pretty. Oh, look at those colors. They're so bright and vibrant. And then the gray. This one will probably be fairly heavily variegated. But I really like it. And I hope you guys do. Okay, so last colorway. This is wet, but I can't help myself. I have to show it to you guys because I'm so excited about this colorway. Okay, it's going to be a little different once it dries, but I am in love with this color. It's never nearly as gorgeous when it's wet. Oh, those colors. Oh my gosh. I think this is going to be really, really pretty. So that's that one. So that's coming soon. All right, so I don't really have a ton of community service, but gosh, and I'll try to link this lady in my show notes because I didn't grab her card. So I got these at the Oregon Flock and Fiber. I collect sheep and llamas, anything fiber related, of course. And I, at some point, would love to do like a tour of my craft room. I might even do it this time. I don't know. And then I also would love to show like my sheep every now and then that I have. But they have like little rusty nails for their legs. And she makes these. And she has other stuff that is like amazing. Like this lady is so talented. But I just think they're so cute. Oh. So I have these sitting on my table in my studio. So that's that. And like I said, I'll try to find her card because I know she ships things. I think she's online, so. And I think that's all I'm going to show this week for community service. I haven't done a lot of buying right now, in all honesty. My husband's company downsized in June, and so the week of my daughter's wedding, we found out he was losing his job. And so he was an independent contractor, so we've just been living off of savings. So I don't really see any sense in purchasing anything right now until he finds something. So I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for all of your kind words and everything. And hopefully I get better each time with podcasting. It's still kind of awkward, but I'm hoping that, I get used to it, and maybe I'll add a little tour of my studio if I can pull it together enough for you guys before I start dying again. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, so